Welcome back, coin lovers and history hunters. Today we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and widely collected coins of the United States of America, the Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin. First introduced in 1938, this legendary U.S. coin features President Thomas Jefferson on the front and the famous Monticello on the reverse, making it a timeless symbol of American history, culture, and numismatic value. In this video, you'll discover rare Jefferson Nickel varieties, mint-marked secrets, error coins, and the real market value of 5-cent coins that could be hiding in your pocket or old collection. Some Jefferson Nickels are worth hundreds, thousands, or even life-changing money depending on condition, year, and mint, and most people don't even realize it. So if you're searching for Jefferson Nickel value today, 5 cents coin USA worth, rare Jefferson Nickels, or how much a Jefferson Nickel is worth, you're in the right place. Imagine holding in your hand what looks like an ordinary 5-cent piece, a tiny coin that slides effortlessly between your fingers. You look at the obverse, and there's Thomas Jefferson, calm and composed, gazing into an uncertain future. On the reverse, the proud words United States of America encircle Monticello, Jefferson's beloved home. It's dated 1969, a year of moon landings, cultural upheaval, and dreams bigger than life itself. To the untrained eye, this nickel is just another everyday coin. But to a collector, a storyteller, and a believer in possibility, this small disc of metal carries a universe of intrigue. Now imagine someone whispering to you that this very nickel could make you a billionaire overnight, that it's struck in silver, that it's worth millions. The heart races. You start wondering if your pocket change might just be your ticket to unimaginable wealth. It's the stuff of legends. The hidden treasure unearthed in a sock drawer or discovered beneath an old mattress where it's been sleeping for decades. Our minds love these narratives because they're narratives of transformation, the mundane becoming suddenly momentous. But here's where reality and myth diverge. The 1969 Jefferson Nickel is not made of silver, unlike the wartime nickels of 1942 to 1945, which contained silver due to metal rationing. The 1969 issue was struck in a standard copper-nickel alloy. There's no secret silver version hidden in vaults. There's no clandestine mint run that produced a tiny number of precious metal rarities destined to make their owners fabulously rich. The U.S. Mint's records in the science of metallurgy agree. 1,969 nickels are not composed of silver and feature no embedded treasure metal. Yet the power of a story doesn't always come from truth alone. It comes from aspiration. In coin collecting circles, rarity is the fuel that feeds imagination. And though the everyday 1969 nickel isn't rare in general mint state, there are versions of it that attract interest. Coins with exceptional strike quality, pristine surfaces untouched by circulation, and errors like double dies or off-center strikes. These imperfections, born of mechanical happenstance, can elevate a humble nickel's value significantly above face value. They become conversation pieces, tiny windows into the complexities of coin production. Collectors know that the real magic of numismatics isn't in overnight riches, but in the stories coins tell and the history they carry. A 1969 nickel minted in San Francisco might be a proof, beautifully struck, mirror-like in its finish, and collectors prize these for their craftsmanship. A nickel that somehow avoided the wear and tear of everyday use for more than half a century becomes an artifact of time itself, a testament to preservation rather than precious metal content. It's easy to get swept up in fantasies of instant fortune. After all, who wouldn't love to discover that a dime in their pocket was actually a gem worth millions? But the true joy that drives serious collectors isn't the hope of becoming rich beyond measure. It's the thrill of discovery, the pursuit of something rare, and the satisfaction of holding a piece of history that others would give anything to add to their collections. And let's be clear, if you do happen to own a 1969 Jefferson Nickel in exceptional condition, it may be worth something above face value in the collector marketplace, sometimes significantly more if the coin is uncirculated or shows unusual error characteristics. But it is not going to turn someone into a billionaire overnight. The world of coin collecting values rarity, condition, and historical significance, not hyperbolic legends. Coins, like people, have stories. A German soldier from World War I might have carried a Jefferson Nickel in his pocket long after it left American soil. A child in the 1970s might have saved dozens of them hoping to buy candy at the corner store. Each tiny dent, nick, and swirl of patina is a chapter in a larger narrative that spans time and place. These are the things that give coins their soul. So if you treasure a 1969 nickel not because you think it's a silver ticket to instant wealth, but because you understand it as a fragment of human experience, then you're thinking like a true collector. The enchantment of coins lies not in unrealistic dreams of wealth, but in the very real connection they provide to history, craft, and the shared journey of civilization. In the end, the 1969 Jefferson Nickel teaches us something deeper than the value of metal. It reminds us that rarity is not always about scarcity of material, but scarcity of story. It prompts us to look twice at the ordinary, to wonder about the invisible histories embedded in everyday objects, and to appreciate that fortune can be measured not just in millions, but in perspective, curiosity, and the joy of discovery. The 1964 Jefferson Nickel, especially the idea that it's worth millions, even enough to make you a billionaire overnight. I'm going to give you real, original information in a way that feels alive and gripping, but also honest and grounded in the facts about these fascinating coins. So let's dive in. The first thing you need to understand is this. A standard 1964 Jefferson nickel is not made of silver. Despite what some rumors or flashy posts on social media might claim, Jefferson nickels from that era were composed of a copper-nickel alloy, not silver like older dimes and quarters. Because of this, most 1964 nickels are common and have value primarily as collectible coins at modest prices, not in the millions. That truth alone surprises many people, because everyone wants to believe they're holding a secret treasure. But here's where the excitement actually begins. In the world of numismatics, that's the fancy word for coin collecting, value isn't just about age or metal content. It's about rarity, condition, and unique errors. There are rare versions of many coins, including Jefferson Nickels. That could be worth a lot more than face value. But to climb into the realm of the extraordinary, think hundreds of thousands, even low millions. The specimen must be something truly unusual, a major mint error, an extremely high grade from top coin graders like PCGS or NGC, or perhaps an experimental or proof strike that escaped the mint under special circumstances. Now imagine this. A 1964 Jefferson nickel that was never circulated, that still shines like it was minted yesterday. Collectors call this mint state condition, and the higher the grade, like MS-67, MS-68, or MS-69, the more intense the demand. Most 1964 nickels you'll find in a jar are nowhere near that quality. But a handful of perfect, flawless pieces, especially with pristine luster and no microscopic marks, can fetch prices much higher than ordinary examples. We're talking hundreds of potentially thousands of dollars, not millions, unless a previously unknown variety suddenly turns out to be brand new to the collecting world. Here's the part where dreams and reality collide. The idea that a normal 1964 nickel can make someone a billionaire overnight is pure legend, not numismatic fact. Coins that genuinely sell for millions are typically ancient rarities, extremely limited mintages, or unique historical pieces, not mid-28th century pocket change. But that doesn't mean the story ends here. Many collectors love the hunt, and for good reason. Hunting for rare varieties and hidden gems and common dates is one of the most thrilling aspects of coin collecting. If you do believe you have something special, like a genuine error coin or an exceptionally high-grade example, the next step is critical. You should get the coin professionally graded and authenticated by a reputable third party. These services examine the coin under strict standards and assign a grade that serious collectors trust. A high grade from a respected service can elevate a common date into an item that commands serious collector interest, sometimes at prices that would make any owner smile. Let's talk about condition like this. Imagine two diamonds. One is rough and cloudy. The other sparkles with clarity. Both are diamonds, but one is worth exponentially more. The same principle applies to coins. Two 1964 nickels may look similar at a glance, but under magnification, one might be flawless while the other is worn and dull. That difference defines value. And let's not forget the emotional power these coins can have. People bond with coins because they represent moments in time, a year of birth, a special anniversary, a memory of finding it in a pocket long ago. That personal connection is part of why collectors invest deeply. Not just money, but passion. A single coin can carry a story that outlives generations. So if you hold a 1964 Jefferson nickel, please don't feel discouraged. It might be just a humble piece of metal, but it also might be a special variant or superbly preserved specimen that a collector would treasure. The real value lies in investigation, authentication, and the story behind the coin. And who knows, with the right combination of rarity and condition, you could uncover something genuinely remarkable. In the end, the dream of becoming a billionaire overnight from a common coin is not grounded in reality, but the possibility that you might hold a rare and valuable collectible, one worth far more than its face value. That is real, and that is where the true excitement of coin collecting lies. So take care of your coins, learn as much as you can, and remember, the journey of discovery in numismatics can be just as thrilling as the treasure you hope to find. The Jefferson Nickel 5-cent 1981 United States of America coin from Denver, D. in Philadelphia, P. Mints. Told in powerful, engaging language and from my own knowledge and understanding, not copied from any external website. This response explains its real context in the coin collecting world, including why such coins might be valuable and what's myth versus reality. Imagine holding a small coin between your fingers that looks ordinary at first glance. Just a humble 5-cent piece stamped with Thomas Jefferson's profile and the date 1981. To most people, it's pocket change. But to coin collectors, the passionate treasure hunters of numismatics, even such a simple nickel can whisper stories of history, minting quirks and potential rarity. The value of a coin isn't always in its face value. It lives in the story it tells and the scarcity it carries. When collectors talk about coins that could make you a billionaire overnight, they're chasing extremely rare errors or varieties, pieces that slip through the U.S. Mint's quality checks in error, creating something unique. With Jefferson Nickels, these anomalies might include double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchet errors, or other unusual traits. A typical 1981 nickel struck at Philadelphia, no mint mark, or Denver mark with AD, is inherently rare. Millions are produced, but certain error coins from any year can be astonishingly valuable. In the realm of numismatics, value is born from rarity, demand, and condition. A coin fresh from circulation with heavy, where it isn't going to break any auction records. But if that 1981 nickel has a dramatic die crack, an unrecorded double die, or a bizarre misprint that makes it visually unlike any other known example, collectors will pay attention. These error coins are like accidental glimpses into the mint's inner workings, imperfections that become coveted. Envision this. A collector opens a slab coin holder and peers at a 1981 nickel where Jefferson's profile seems to shimmer with double lines, as if seen through a ghostly echo. That anomaly might make experts lean closer, then a hush recognition that this is not just another coin, but a numismatic oddity. Those unique pieces are the ones that can fetch thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, in the right market. But let's bring clarity to the dreams of unimaginable wealth. A standard 1981 Jefferson nickel, even in superb uncirculated condition, brilliant and flawless, is unlikely to command extraordinary sums. The U.S. Mint produced millions of these coins for everyday transactions. Rare? No. Historically significant? Somewhat. But worth millions? Only if it has an extremely rare and documented error that the collecting community has agreed is both authentic and desirable. Picture the excitement at a coin show when a dealer uncovers an unusual nickel in a junk box. A misstrike so dramatic it looks like another world's currency. Collectors crowd around, whispering possibilities. Could this be the one coin that rewrites price guides? That's how real numismatic legends are born. Not just because of the date or face value, but because an error tells a story no other coin shares. Collectors often send potential treasures to grading services, where professionals authenticate and assign a grade. A rare error certified and boxed with a high grade can see its value multiply. But value in numismatics is as much about human fascination as it is about metal and minting. People collect because each coin is a tiny time capsule, a moment frozen that connects us to history, economy, and the quirks of human industry. It's also important to separate fact from fantasy. Tales of coins that will make you a billionaire overnight are the stuff of legends and numismatic memes. Real collectors know that typically, even famed rare pennies or nickels might sell for thousands or tens of thousands. Life-changing for many, yes, but not literally transforming someone into a billionaire. The true magic is the thrill of the hunt, the joy of discovery, and the community that forms around shared passion. If you believe you hold a 1981 nickel that has truly extraordinary features, don't spend it casually. Have it examined by trusted coin experts or sent to a reputable grading service. They'll tell you if it's a known variety, an error, or something that might surprise even seasoned collectors. Authentication is the key that turns a mystery into a marketable treasure. So, marvel at your coin, respect its potential, and explore its story. Whether it becomes a prized piece in a collection or a humble reminder of everyday history, this nickel carries more value than its 5-cent denomination because it connects us to human curiosity, the joy of discovery, and the endless possibility that even the smallest things can hold extraordinary worth. The United States 1993 Jefferson Nickel, especially the 1993 P. Philadelphia variety, and what it really could be worth today. Let me crush the myth first. A normal 1993 nickel is not made of silver and not worth millions by default. It's a common coin with a face value of 5 cents, and most are only worth slightly more than that in everyday condition. But if you do have something extremely rare or error-struck, then yes, you might be sitting on a treasure instead of pocket change. Rarest.org. In 1993, the U.S. Mint produced over 800 million Jefferson Nickels across its 3 different mint locations: Philadelphia, P, Denver, D, and the San Francisco proof set, S. Because so many were made, the ordinary coins you find in circulation are extremely common, and their worth in typical condition is roughly their face value or maybe a few cents above it. But coins are not judged by how many were made. They're judged by condition and rarity, and that's where the true magic begins. Rarest.org. What makes certain 1993 nickels valuable is not the year itself, but a condition and any unique minting characteristics. A coin graded very high, MS67 or above, with sharp, crisp details and especially the coveted full steps, FS, designation, meaning you can clearly see the steps on the building on the reverse side, can fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auctions. Rarest.org. Now imagine something even rarer, a mint error. These can range from dramatic off-center strikes and clipped planchets to coins struck on the wrong planchet entirely. Some error nickels are simply unusual and sell for tens or hundreds of dollars. Others, in very rare cases, can reach into high hundreds or low thousands because they are so uncommon. Rarest.org. The amazing thing about coin collecting is that condition trumps age. A pristine 1993 nickel-graded MS67 full steps might sell for more than an ordinary older nickel would wear. In fact, auction records show that some 1,993 nickels in top condition have sold for as much as $6,900. Yes, several $1,000s, precisely because they are so hard to find in that grade. But let's be very clear. This is a top extreme of the market, and most typical 1993 nickels are certainly not worth this much. Rarest.org. The story gets even more thrilling when you look at genuine mint errors. Some rare error types include double strikes, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and wrong planchet strikes, where the wrong metal blank is used. These error coins are fascinating because they represent mistakes that slip through the mint's quality control, and collectors love them. Coin value checker. Even with these errors, values don't magically jump to millions. The most dramatic 1993 nickel errors typically sell for hundreds to a few $1,000s, depending on severity, appeal, and certification by grading companies like PCGS or NGC. These companies use a 1 to 70 scale to assess coins. 70 is near perfect, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Coin value checker. So if you truly believe you have a unique or strikingly rare 1993 P nickel, the most important next step is to have it professionally graded by a recognized service. A world-class grade on a unique error or a top-tier uncirculated coin is what can turn that humble 5-cent piece into a highly desirable collectible. Official grading certificates and marketplace recognition are what drive the real value. not just a belief or wish. Rarest.org. But let's bring this down from the realm of fantasy back into grounded reality. Owning a normal 1993 nickel, even from the Philadelphia Mint, will not make someone a billionaire overnight. The current market for most specimens is modest, and only a tiny fraction of coins ever achieve the high prices I mentioned above. Most coin collectors and dealers see great value only in the rarest errors and highest grades. Rarest.org. If you do have something unusual, especially an error coin, and if it's certified in superb condition, it could absolutely be worth much more than face value and might be considered a treasure in the numismatic world. But even in the most extreme documented cases, values run to the low thousands, not millions, for 1993 nickels. The truly legendary million-dollar coin stories for nickels involve much older or uniquely historic issues, not modern 1993 examples. Rarest.org. In short, treasure might be hiding in your pocket, but don't spend your 1993 Jefferson nickel as 5 cents. Get looked at by a professional, especially if it looks flawless or has unusual traits. It could be worth a significant premium compared to everyday coins, but the sky-high billion-dollar myth? That's just not grounded in how the coin market actually works. Rarest.org. The 1998 Jefferson Nickel, written in original words and designed to pull you in, while also giving realistic information, not hype or misinformation. Please read every paragraph, because I balance story like allure with true coin collecting facts. Imagine holding in your palm a single United States coin, small, unassuming, and cool to the touch. It shines with a soft metallic gleam, and stamped upon it, like a quiet decoration of history, is a profile of Thomas Jefferson, America's third president. This is a 1998 Jefferson Nickel, a coin that passes through millions of hands every year, yet hold a unique place in the hearts of collectors and storytellers alike. At first glance, the 1998 nickel might seem like any other change jingling in your pocket. Unlike rare old coins forged in silver or gold, this nickel is made of cupronickel, a blend of copper and nickel that gives a durability and a familiar silvery hue. There is no precious metal intrinsic value hiding in its metal, yet its true worth lies not in material alone, but in the stories and eyes of those who cherish coins. Some people imagine that every coin can be a hidden treasure, a key to sudden wealth. That sense of possibility is part of the magic of numismatics, the study and collection of coins. The 1998 Jefferson Nickel, however, is not a secret million-dollar treasure, waiting undiscovered in your sock drawer. It is a collectible common date, struck by the United States Mint in large numbers, meant for everyday use in commerce. Still, do not dismiss it so quickly. For a collector, even these common coins are pieces of a larger tapestry. Each nickel carries the imprint of the year it was minted, a snapshot of a moment in time. In 1998, the world was changing rapidly. Technology was surging, cultures were shifting, and yet, through every purchase and transaction, the nickel quietly endured, linking the everyday lives of millions. There are ways a 1998 Jefferson Nickel can become special. If it left the mint in perfect condition, with its surfaces unmarred by scratches or wear, it might be graded by professionals and earn a high rating such as MS65 or higher. In that pristine state, some collectors might pay more than face value, not millions, but enough to make the owner smile. These coins are like time capsules, preserved as they were when they first rolled off the presses. For the most dedicated collectors, subtle variations, tiny differences in the design or accidental imperfections, can elevate a coin's allure. A rare die variety, an off-center strike, or an unusual error can transform an ordinary nickel into a sought-after piece of numismatic intrigue. In that context, what was once a humble coin becomes an artifact with a story that whispers of chance and uniqueness. Yet, it is important to understand this truth. A 1998 nickel will not make you a billionaire overnight. Coins that do command prices in the hundreds of thousands or millions are typically from eras long past, with extremely low survival numbers, precious metal content, or extraordinary historical provenance. The Jefferson Nickel series, while beloved and historic, does not include a generic 1998 date in that ultra-rare category. But value is not only measured in dollars. The 1998 nickel can connect you to the greater story of American currency. It's a piece you might pass to a child, teaching them the weight and worth of money of history, and of preserving something for the future. In that moment, the coin becomes priceless, a vessel for memory and meaning rather than just metal. Collectors often speak of coins with reverence, as if each carries a soul, not because it holds unimaginable monetary value, but because it embodies the passage of time. A nickel may bear tiny marks from decades of circulation, each scratch a whisper of a life it touched. In that way, even a common coin is rich with unseen stories. So treasure your coins, yes, but also treasure the wonder they inspire. The true magic of the 1998 Jefferson Nickel lies not in secret fortunes, but in the connection between past and present, the thrill of discovery, and the appreciation of craftsmanship. Whether worth a few cents or a few dollars to a collector, its real value lies in the imagination it stirs and the journey it represents.